Today on the show, we have Robert Allen Peeler, current community manager at Unbroken Studios and former community manager at Kojima Productions Los Angeles. How's it going today, buddy?
Well, I want to say a proper hello by opening my drink here.
Cheers.
What are you drinking?
I'm a non-alcoholic person, so I'm drinking Diet Coke, which is my go-to. So yeah, apologies for the non-hard-edged nature of my personality.
No, it's okay. I'm drinking Coca-Cola as well. There's just extra bits in it.
You're crocked, aren't you?
Hey, I'm Fingers.
Hey everyone, this is Days Ahead.
And I'm Nitroid. You're listening to the Kojima Frequency. So what was the drink of choice at Kojima Productions Los Angeles?
Diet Coke. For me, anyway.
Diet Coke.
I'm sure plenty of other people imbibed otherwise. There's plenty of coffee going around, too.
Yeah, but did you have like every game studio has their like in-house perks, like Valve has the candy room, EA's got like the cereal machines. Like, did you guys have anything like that?
We didn't have any machines. We had a kitchen with cereal in it. And we also had a bowl that was freshly replenished with fruit, and I don't know where that fruit came from. I'd like to say the studio somehow paid for fruit to show up, but it's just as likely that someone was just volunteering to bring fruit every day.
I like to imagine Kojima as like a fruit Santa Claus, just like coming in and just like giving you guys fruit real quick and then dipping out.
Here's some bananas. Bananas, oranges, and apples is what I remember, but there might have been others. I'm not a big fruit person, so that was mostly for everyone else.
We're going to keep talking about food, and like everybody listening is going to be like, why? Just ask something interesting.
Well, not like I never answer anything interesting. Come on. I know my job. Even when I don't have that job, I know my job. Sorry. No, we had lots of cereal. I like cereal, and it's not good for you, but we ate plenty of it. Like at all hours of the day.
That does have to be hard, though, like mitigating and figuring out like what's okay to say in this situation versus what's not okay. Like just out of curiosity, like what's your thought process like typically when you have to deal with something like that?
I usually try to plan ahead, so I'm not surprised by anything anyone would ask of me. And I was actually talking to someone about this today. So a lot of people, there's different moderation tools and mods and dashboards and things for social media or any really place where you speak publicly. And people are always trying to put in some sort of automated solution to keep you from saying the wrong thing or talking to the wrong person. And I was saying to someone today that a lot of those are great. And I'm really glad that people are like working towards the technology to, read the room and provide the best possible response. But really what seems to work better at a greater efficiency is just knowing what you're talking about when you're there. So like just being someone who doesn't have, a lack of information or, in my case for Metal Gear, just being familiar with the game, being familiar with the person I'm talking to, being aware of what people might want to know or what they don't know yet, that kind of stuff. So it all seems pretty simple, but you'd be surprised at how many people are like, so exactly how am I supposed to answer this question? And I'm like, well, if you have an idea of what this game is, and if you have an idea of what people know and don't know, maybe you kind of arrive to that conclusion naturally. But there's lots of ways. There's press training. There's, you can do a lot of pre-written questions. You can put things together to be like, oh, what's the, not necessarily script, but like, oh, what would I typically run into? I won't spoil all the magic, but basically that.
God, I bet with this community in general, because anal retention is kind of our, modus operandi.
If you're talking to someone who's like, I have the most meticulous, precise question related to the narrowest of fields related to your product, and you better know the precise answer to it, I think most people in my field would be like, next. Or pass, or just not answer, just be like, move on, because it's all minefields, right? And people want to trip you up, and I wouldn't necessarily say a community wants to trip you up, but there's plenty of people out there who are like, well, let's see if they can answer this one, bam, and toss you something, and they want to be impressed, but they are looking to be disappointed. So
Yeah.
it's just better to just walk away and be like, yeah, no thanks. I'm on my own here.
It's probably something they already have the answer to. They just kind of just want to like flex on you and be like, "This is what I know." Actually,
Actually,
yeah. There's plenty of those people.
Yeah.
I retweeted a Pliskin joke for the movie announcement today. Like, it said something like, 1 out of 4 of these characters is Solid Snake. Please pick one. And then one of them was Pliskin. And someone messaged me on my Twitter that was like, well, actually, it's 3 people, not 4. Pliskin is the same person as Snake. It's like, that's it. That's the joke. Thank you.
Thanks for figuring that out.
Well, the Pliskin joke is like, bottom of the iceberg level,
Right?
inside humor, though. So it's always funny when someone trips over it.
That's why at the end of the day, I definitely feel for these journalists and stuff that are just trying to put out a damn article. And there's people just like, no, that's not Solid Snake. That's Venom Snake. Or it's just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Now you got to say to yourself, and since I know my audience, what does that say about Metal Gear Solid 2 if Pliskin references are at the bottom of the iceberg?
Yeah.
Sorry, just throwing out some truth bombs here that you maybe re-examine your life.
There, believe it or not, there is actually a Metal Gear Solid 2 iceberg meme image that's floating around out there.
There you go.
Yeah, it's got some weird stuff on it, like IGN early build of the game that still has pre 9/11 content. It's a trip.
Well, I am your guest, but if you don't mind, I'd like to throw out some topics of discussion for you guys to talk about with me, if that's cool with you.
Go for it.
Do it.
Yeah, sure.
So the first one I want to throw out there is I actually listened to a few of your podcasts already.
Oh, thanks for listening.
I am a fan, I will say.
Yes.
I'll tell you, I listened to episode 1, episode 5, jumped ahead, episode 14, episode 15, a little bit of episode 18, a little bit of episode 19. I can only stomach Maxwell for so long. And and then, I'll probably listen to the police notes.
Oh, Max, I'm so sorry.
Shout out to Maxwell.
Yeah, he knows who I am. But I wanted to point out that I listened to the one with Garrett on here, and you guys were like gushing over this guy and how much Metal Gear he's played. And I just happened to conveniently look at my Steam profile and noticed that my playtime was significantly higher than his. And I just wanted to, let that drop. And
What kind of numbers are we talking here?
I mean, maybe you should try to guess. What was it? What was Garrett at? Do you remember?
What do you say? Over 300 or something? Or over
Something like
500?
that.
Yeah.
Okay, go a little higher.
I think I was at like 300.
Did you get over 1,000?
I was about to say, is 1,000 where we're at?
Go a
1,200?
little higher.
All right,
Oh my God.
mine's 1,200. We're doing prices right. Days, what you got?
Fuck. I don't have my PlayStation 4 on me, so.
$1, Bob.
No, how many hours do you think he played?
Oh, who, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Steam specifically. Don't even count the other consoles. This is just Steam.
Okay, that makes shit easier. Did somebody say go for the $1? Fuck. 1,500?
Go a little higher. Sorry.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
wow. All right. So, no, we all lose. Where you at?
3,805 in 6 hours.
Jesus
Holy.
Christ. All right, we got a real gamer here.
Yeah, so, all right. I'm just saying, if you're going to bring people on as guests, maybe you should bring on people who play the games.
I'll put some respect
Man.
on the...
I feel
Garrett,
hurt
if
that
you're
it took this
listening,
long.
you got to step it up. You're getting called out.
Garrett's a poser. Confirmed.
No, that guy's awesome. He played more Survive than me. I'll give him that.
Yeah, shouts out to Garrett.
KPLA was mostly focused on MGO3, right?
Yeah, almost 100%.
What sort of plans did you have for that? Like, provided everything hadn't gone the way it did, were there kind of long-term things you wanted to go into with it, or?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, when you make a game, that's an online multiplayer game, you hope that it'll do well and you can continue developing more for it. So we had lots of ideas in flux. There were things that we wanted to get done, but when you're developing that kind of game, you have to obviously have something for launch, and then you can have some stuff that you were working on and maybe put on the side, or put it in a state where you're getting ready to do more to it once the game keeps working on going past launch. But of course, it didn't do as well as we wanted to, and then the studio got shut down, and that pretty much kind of ended that situation. So yeah, nothing more we could add to it, really.
Well, it's interesting because, we are clearly kind of touchy with this subject because we understand what scrutiny might come under it. So for me, I kind of want to look at this as more of like a corporate perspective, like handling what you would expect from big corps, random closures, dealing with upper management, C-levels, but in the context of Metal Gear. So that was my approach to this, just to make it not too controversial. But then everything happened today, and I totally forgot what I was trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, there is a huge... It's unfortunate that the pervasive attitude towards everything that happened Kojima Productions, Konami, tends to be the least charitable possible position towards Konami and the people who worked there, including you to some degree, I'd assume. I don't even want to imagine the kind of flack you got when that was going down.
I mean, I didn't tell him to leave the company, so...
I just mean in terms of...
Yes, the kind of stuff that comes my way. Sure, I understand that.
Yeah, that's more of what I meant, like people attacking you.
But I guess that's my perspective, right? Is I know when people are saying something that makes them angry,
right,
or demonstrating their ire towards some subject. It's not about me personally, even if they're telling me about it. I don't take it personally because I'm like, well, that wasn't my plan for anything.
Yeah, that's definitely, you gotta have just at least just the right headspace to deal with that type of stuff. You're just like, all right, these are just people that are pissed off. I get it. And
I mean,
it's not a personal thing that they're coming at you. They're just mad at something that happened with the product. So
I can genuinely feel bad for anybody who still operates a Metal Gear account or a Konami account, and I think I know who still runs those. So whoever, when they're getting messages that are people like, oh, still makes me angry after 5 years, I'm like, well, until that gets resolved, that's going to be what happens. And they know that too. They're not, unaware. So it's not one of those things where it's like, surprises.
Oh yeah. Going into that role, you got to just know what you're signing up for sure.
Yeah. I mean, is that a fair thing to say then, that if you're going to be a community manager or you're going to work in that field, is it fair to say that it's in the job description that you're going to be getting that kind of response, that you're going to have to deal with that kind of flack?
I wouldn't put it in a job description because that just seems cruel. But what I would, but if I were, if I were applying for a new position, I would not be unaware that somehow I'd run into any potential negative criticism or any sort of concerns and how vitriolic they could possibly get.
Yeah.
Just because I had the experience. If someone's coming in this field brand new, let that be a warning that is a potentiality. Now, that's not to say it's warranted, because it